Hi, Dr. Randy here with my co-host Olivia Sacci from the University of Arizona Veterinary School.
It's nice to be here, everyone.
And we're going to answer a question from Carla in Costa Rica about autoimmune disease.
Okay, so our question today is, what are autoimmune skin diseases?
That is a great question, Carla. Thanks, Olivia. So autoimmune skin disease is a situation where the body is attacking itself. It's an inflammatory disease, and I often get at it through a little different ways than some other veterinarians, but let's talk about these diseases. When the body is attacking itself, it can produce crust, scale, sores, ulceration. It's really nasty. Thank God they're somewhat rare, but we do see them. And there are a bunch of different autoimmune diseases that we talk about. One being pemphigus foliaceus, another being pemphigus erythematosus. There is discoid lupus erythematosus. There is also systemic lupus. But I don't want you to worry about those names. They're not important. That's for us to decide.
Yeah, that's my midterm this week. You don't need to know that.
That's right. But these are really nasty diseases, and they are solvable. They are curable. Let's talk a little bit about how we diagnose them.
Yeah, and it's not just autoimmune skin diseases, right? You can have other autoimmune diseases as well.
Correct. For example, in that systemic lupus, autoimmune disease could attack many, many organs. We see lupus of the kidney. We can see lupus of the lung, etc. So
how do you go about treating those kinds of diseases when you encounter them?
That's a great question. So normally what I do is I want to make sure I have a solid diagnosis. Some of them need to have a skin biopsy or blood testing to figure that out. But once we've got that, the treatment for me is to attack the inflammation.
Yes.
So the first thing I work on is actually the microbiome, called dysbiosis. A lot of times the microbiome, which is all of our good and bad bacteria, are out of whack. And this creates a tremendous amount of inflammation in the bowel, releasing what we call cytokines and some of these inflammatory mediators. And this is where this gets started. So a lot of people will look at just putting these animals on medication.
On immunosuppressants,
Correct.
But then that can open them up to other sorts of infections and everything.
Correct.
So that's why I wanted to know your kind of holistic, integrative medicine approach, which is interesting that you're going to the microbiome directly.
Yeah. So sometimes I have to use the medications to quell the disease somewhat while we're doing this. But what we do is we get a fecal test for the microbiome. It's a DNA test of what all the good and bad bacteria are in there. And we also often will do an allergy test, a blood allergy test, to find out what their dog or cat is potentially allergic to in the environment and also in their diet, and eliminate those. With those two pieces, we can start getting this animal back on board and eliminating the inflammation.
And so how does eliminating the inflammation help with the autoimmune disease itself?
It's a great question. So once we have the inflammation reduced or really under control, then a lot of times the necessity for drugs is not that important. And we can actually correct the diet, use potential supplements for the microbiome change, or something called FMT, fecal microbiome transfer, and really make this animal well.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I love learning about the alternative therapies that you offer or that you know about, because that's not typically something in veterinary school that we do have a lot of conversation about. It's about the very traditional methods of treating animals, which would be those immunosuppressants. So it's good to know.
Yeah. So we want to get this word out there. So this is really important to make sure that people understand they have options.
Exactly. So thank you guys so much for joining us, learning a little bit more about your pets. You can find both of us on social media. For Dr. Randy, he's on both YouTube and Instagram at Dr. Randy Pet Vet. For myself, I'm on Instagram at Dr. Sacci. That's spelled DR for Dr. SACCI for Sacci. It's one of those kind of crazy Italian names.
Oh, I love it.
And make sure to subscribe, follow, so you can kind of see the information we're coming out with. Thank you guys so much.
And tell your friends and who are pet guardians and pet parents about this information, because the more we can get this word out, the better off our pets' wellness, longevity, and health will be.
Exactly. Thank you, Dr. Randy.